This video is to calm the nerves of the many people who have expressed concerns over the recent pass of the very poorly amended anti-bully bill in Michigan. The fuss over Senate Bill 137 is the part that the Republican majority Senate worked in, which reads, "This section does not prohibit a statement of a sincerely held religious belief or moral conviction of a school employee, school volunteer, pupil, or a pupil and parent or guardian." A lot of people are upset that this bill was passed, especially in the secular community, because they feel that now any student, school employee, or volunteer who wants to lambaste kids over things that religious doctrines tell them are worthy of open ridicule, then they'll be free to do so. I'd like to assure you that you've no need to be concerned of any such thing. Granted, this bill's amendment is a piece of garbage, and it's providing a slight legal loophole, but it's highly impractical and irrelevant one. People tend to consider laws as the be-all and end-all of control and order in society, but there are other institutions within a society that have rules and regulations apart from the state law. Now, just because the Republican Senate of Michigan has said that sincere religious or moral convictions are justifiable excuses for bullying children whom their personal, moral, or dogmatic scriptures chastise, it doesn't mean that people will be allowed to do so in their schools. It's not against the law for children to play with their PSPs and Game Boys either. It's not against the law for teachers to come to work dressed in Halloween costumes every day. However, those things aren't permitted in schools because they would be an unprofessional distraction. The schools themselves do have rules that are inclusive of, but not limited to, the laws issued by the state. What specifically qualifies as bullying is subjective to begin with, but the important point to note is that even if a court won't let A sue B for picking on A if B's religion says it's okay, that doesn't mean that the school that A and B both attend and or work in is going to let that bullying happen. Teachers and administrators will still take action against those forms of bullying just as they would before. Laws against bullies in general are fairly pointless. It's one more ignorant attempt for our government to hack at the symptoms of a problem when curing it at its source is well out of the government's hands to begin with. It's comparable to the Senate passing a bill requiring all students to be nice to each other or requiring all students to be smart. It's just not going to happen just because you made it a law. Parents need to emphasize that bullying is cowardly and intolerable behavior well before their children get to school to prevent such behavior from taking root in the first place. A parent's influence has much greater role in a child's development than anything else, and therefore has the greatest impact on child behavior. Newsflash: 7th graders don't tend to watch C-SPAN quite closely enough to be concerned about what bills are being passed in their state Congress. So, until all parents actually take an active role in raising their children in loving environments, doing positive modeling, and have stark moral standards, it doesn't take much to guess what Michigan's public schools will be like now that SB 137 has been passed. Exactly the same as they were before.